All right, we're at the home of the Masperos. They live right next door to Cynthia and Mitchell Edmonds, who we helped out towards the beginning of last year. So definitely have some work to do around here. We're going to be replacing all the windows, four sets of French doors, most likely with gliding options. We're going to be replacing the front door and two side lights, and then doing some rot repair, minor rot repair, mainly on the fascia, and then painting the entire exterior. So that's what we're looking at here. So like I said, not a ton of rot, but there is some visible rot, mainly in the fascia. Minor corner right here, just probably needs a little touch-up caulk. And then painting all soffit fascia. Porch ceiling, we got 8 porch columns that we're gonna paint 6x6s. They're kind of spindled, but that would all be painted. They already have hardy at the bottom down here, so that's a good thing. So it's really just painting all those. We got a little strip into here where we're painting. We got this little rake wall that we would paint. We'll remove and reinstall the shutters. There's 2 sets of shutters on the front, so those would come off. We'll paint behind them and then reattach the shutters. Now that I'm thinking of it, I don't think we measured this one window in the garage, so I'm going to add that in to the mix because we did not measure that. And obviously we're going to do the rest on the front, so that has to match. So I'll add this garage window into the project. This corner got a massive 12-foot, it's probably 14-foot really, fascia. This corner needs to be repaired for sure, as does this corner up top. There's some rot there, so that corner is going to need to be reconstructed before we paint. Got some minor rot along the roof line here, probably just some wood filler, and then paint it actually, rather than replacing the whole board. It doesn't look that drastic from down here. So that should work there. I don't see any other rot really. This kind of little ledger board area, that would all be painted, as well as the underside of the porch ceiling. That would all be painted, as well as these little aprons above the windows. That would be painted as well. There's the front door, obviously, that we're going to look at. Unfortunately, Mrs. Maspero was not available today, so we're scheduling a time to come back so we can kind of get all the finer details, so to speak, ironed out. We got all the measurements of everything in the house minus that garage window. But we're going to come back to talk about door details and design a front door option. Everywhere else looks pretty good. No major signs of rot. Again, painting all the soffit up here, painting all the porch ceiling down here, this ledger board area, and the porch ceiling and soffit. But again, you can see all the columns have a footer of hardy, so that's good news there, probably because it rotted. Nothing major going on over here as far as rot. So again, it's just sidewall all the way up. We can touch up that conduit. It looks like probably a drain as well. Make that all nice. We do have one little area right here. It's probably, again, just some nailing that back and caulking it on that second course right there before we paint it. Everywhere else looks pretty good. Gable vent would be painted up top here, so that would be painted as well. There's Cynthia's dogs coming to say hi. We're gonna have to have some discussion when I return about the gutters. This is really, on the back is the only run of gutters. It's probably about 80 feet total. But my fear is that you can see on the corner, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but on the corner there's some significant rot behind the gutter. So it's a pretty big undertaking to take the gutters down, fix all the rot, put the gutters back up. But again, it's, you know, it's a measure of do you want to do it or do it right? So we'll let that be the deciding factor, and we can talk on that a little bit more when I come back. But otherwise, it's just, again, siding's in good condition. He used durations years ago when he painted it, and it obviously shows because nothing's been done since, and there's very little rot to speak of, which is nice. So if I can get far enough away. So we have 2 doors up here that would be replaced. My suggestion is going to be to go with sliders, but again, we'll leave that up to the follow-up visit to make that determination. We have 2 French doors down here that would want obviously to match to those. So again, recommendation is to go with gliding doors, but again, that can be determined once we meet. Again, you see all the windows. All these windows would be replaced. And then everything would be painted. The porch ceiling. This corner definitely needs some rot repair. See that? All the soffit up top would be replaced, or not, excuse me, replaced. It would be painted. And then obviously all this porch ceiling and soffit under here would be painted as well. I'm gonna see, he's rebuilt this railing and deck area probably 4 times, I think, since he's lived here in 25, 35 years. So he wants to do it right, do it, so he doesn't have to do it again. So we can look at doing some Trex and some composite handrail and spindles and all that. But he wants this thing completely reconstructed. It's about 15 feet of banister here, 17 feet of stairs, risers, and banister along the staircase. So 15 feet, 17 feet of stairway. But again, all the siding down here, no evidence of rot. So again, just prime it, paint it, and it's gonna look good as new. So we have the run of gutter all the way across the top. We have about 30 feet of gutter here. This gutter is pretty tangled and mangled, so I don't know that that's feasible to be reused. But I think he said he was getting new gutters anyways, so that might be an opportunity for us just to tear them down and then do the fascia repair and then basically have new gutters installed. I think that's going to be the course of action, which would be great because I can almost guarantee there's some rot up underneath this gutter that you can pretty much guarantee. But we'll look at rebuilding this banister as well. Going back here. So you can see that gutter kind of all mangled up right there. But chimney's all rock, bricks, or stone. So I don't need to do anything there. We would paint, obviously, this entire wall, this soffit, and then look at what's behind that fascia for any kind of signs of rot. You got a little rake wall up there. That would all be painted as well as the soffit and fascia. This exterior door to the garage, that would be painted as part of the process. All this conduit, boxes, the electrical boxes, the cable box, that would all be painted as well. And here you can kind of see a better picture of the stairs. But his intention is to have that all done. It's pretty rotted now. That banister is hanging on by a thread. His intention is to have all this done in Trex. So that's what we'll look at as a component. If installation doesn't feel like that's something that we should take on, we'll of course give a proper referral, but we'll give this a look and see if we can include that. Obviously the soffit would be painted. This corner definitely needs to be nailed back and caulked. It doesn't appear that there's rot, but it definitely needs to be sealed up so it doesn't get rotted. Let's see here. So here's the side. You can see that should power wash off. That mold and mildew, all those windows would be replaced up there. That's in the game room. Fascia looks good. Need to be caulked up at the peak, but other than that, looks good. Garage doors, both the garage doors and the frames would be painted as part of our process. There's some minor rot right behind that tree that would have to be addressed. Right there. And that definitely is rotted, separating. So that board would have to be replaced. But that would pretty much take care of everything on the house as far as getting it, again with the durations process, the fact that the wood's in good shape, gets you a lot of miles going forward, doing it properly. We also have this little outbuilding that would need to be painted. So this would all be all sides, it's an open rafter tail soffit. So that would all be painted. Again, some mildew back here, but we would pressure wash all this down anyways. Fascia would be painted. 4 sides. It's basically 16 by 10. And you see the open rafter tails, that would all be painted. And then the front here, door and everything, including this little shelter area, that would all be painted. And the front would all be painted as well. So that's what we've got. A bunch of paint, minor rot repair. It's going to be quite a bit of fascia repair. And then look at an option of doing the stairs and railing with the composite deck. And then of course the window project. So that's what we're looking at. Again, we're looking at a follow-up visit when Mrs. Maspero can join us and we can nail down some of the details. But that's what we've got. I'm going to add this garage window in right now that we didn't capture, and we'll be all set. But I really look forward to the opportunity to work with y'all. Thank you so much for having us out to take a look, and we look forward to the opportunity to take great care of you guys. Thanks so much.